I watched this movie not too long after it came out by renting it on Redbox, back when that was still a thing. Um, because I liked going to Redbox. I thought the movie was fine when I originally watched it. Uh, I didn't get the hate, and I still feel pretty much the same way. There's a lot I don't like about it. There is. But I think at the end of the day, it's fine. And Dark Phoenix was way worse. You know? There's X Men movies that aren't as bad. This is technically an X Men movie, but not really. And if you notice, I'm only covering horror movies this month, and I'm covering this movie. Well, that's because this movie is horror. It's a horror action movie, but sure doesn't feel like it. So the cast is all X Men characters. We got Magic, we got Danny Moonstar, we got Sunspot, we got Cannonball, and we got Wolfsbane. Um, they make the bold choice to make Magic uh, one of the most well-known X-Men villains out of at least these people to be the most unlikable. She's a mean girl in this movie. Not only is she a mean girl, she's racist. She makes two racially insensitive comments to the main character, Danny Moonstar. And then she just never makes a comment again after Danny, gets in her face and tells her, hey, your insults are like fifth graders. You fucking suck. And they have fights throughout the movie, sure, and Magic's still mean to her, but she never says anything racist again. I guess they just wanted you to forget that they had her have two racist lines. She's still mean. I don't like her. Another weird thing is this is an X-Men movie. She's an X-Men character. Kitty Pryde's an X-Men character. But they give her Kitty Pryde's fucking pet, Lockheed. They give her Lockheed the dragon, which is Kitty Pryde's pet. Why? It's like making a Justice League movie and then giving Batman Crypto and then leaving Superman out. Like you're making an X-Men adaptation. You have X-Men characters. You leave out one of the X-Men, but then you keep their pet and give it to somebody else. That's such a strange decision. Um just really weird. So the plot of the movie is there's a bunch of mutants in a hospital, and the hospital is supposed to help them control their powers, and then they'll be let go. And it's just obviously the hospital doctor is gonna be a bad person. Like she's the only person there. It's pretty obvious. Like there's a typical horror movie thing. I've seen horror movies like this where people wake up in a strange place and one person claims to be the helper, and then obviously they're a bad guy. It's kind of generic. The horror is just kind of sprinkled throughout, like occasionally bad will happen to one character. I feel like each of them only get like one bad thing happening to them before the climax of the film. They make the bold choice to make Wolfsbane and Danny Moonstar date, which there's a lot of shippers in the X-Men comics that really want that to happen, but it's never happened. So that was pretty cool. Um, Sunspot was fine. And that's another thing. I do want to say, like, you could make the excuse, well, Kitty Pryde was in the original X-Men movies, so they can't use her because it wouldn't make sense in like the timeline. But they have Sunspot here, and he was in one of the old X-Men movies. He was in X-Men Days of Future Past. And they reset the timeline. So, like, in reality, they should be able to just do whatever they want. Um, it's a really stupid decision. And I don't like it. It's weird. And he's not even in that much of the movie. Like, the majority of the movie, Lockheed is just a puppet. But then he shows up for, like, a few seconds to fight the bear, which is a whole other thing. Um, the main villain is whatever. She starts talking about an allegory for putting down Danny Moonstar, basically telling her she's going to kill her. And it's because, like, she had to put down her dog when it had rabies as a kid. Her mom did anyway. And she also has says something stupid like she tried to do everything she could to cure rabies, but she couldn't. Like, I thought it was common knowledge that you can't cure rabies. Like, once the symptoms start to show, you're fucked. There's no cure. That's what the rabies shots are for, to prevent rabies. But once symptoms starts to show, they're obviously fucked. And her mom, who's a vet, should know that. I guess you could make the argument that maybe she was being a little bit delusional and trying to save a loved one. But whatever, it's still a stupid line. Another stupid thing is that they drug the doctor, like they spike her drink and have her knocked out, right? Yet none of them leave. You would think they would leave because I doubt her like powers with the force fields work when she's knocked out. But apparently not. They all only spiked her tea to just goof off. I like Sunspot and Cannonball's relationship as friends in this movie. Um, but they don't get to do that much together. And also back to the whole magic thing. By God, they decide they want to make Sunspot and Magic date for some reason. It's just weird. They're only like seen together, like scene where it was them one on one wasn't even real. It was like a hallucination or something that was talking to Sunspot and flirting with him. And then he admits to her why he's there and how he accidentally killed his girlfriend by setting her on fire, which is something he wouldn't even admit to Cannonball when they were friends, which feels even more forced, like Cannonball tries to talk to him in the very previous scene about why is he here. He storms off and goes in a pool with Magic and immediately tells her why he's here. Like, why wouldn't he tell it to his friend? And instead he's telling it to this girl that's like flirting with him. And then it turns out that it wasn't actually Magic. And throughout the rest of the movie, he has like comments about like, oh my God, that was so hot. Oh my God, I'm gonna marry that girl. When they didn't have any chemistry. There was one scene, and that scene wasn't even real. It's stupid. Not to mention, like I said, they had Magic be racist in this movie for some reason. Strange. Anyways, the bear comes and kills the doctor lady, who apparently is a character from the comics. She was the only character in this movie that I didn't know. And then they have to defeat the bear, and they do, and the movie ends. It's just meh. It's a meh movie. It's fine. Another thing, Wolfsbane turns into an actual wolf instead of a wolf-like creature. Like, she's portrayed differently by obviously different artists or different cartoons, but she's always more like somewhat like a werewolf. Like, she's this furry thing that's still human-like. But in this movie, she mainly turns into an actual wolf, like it's fucking Twilight. I hated when Twilight did it, and I hate it when this movie does it. She does turn into somewhat furry in a few scenes. She really fucks up the doctor, which was pretty brutal. Oh, there's also only one F-bomb. And it was said by the racist girl Magic when she's like, how fucked up are you? Just a lame usage of an F-bomb in a PG-13 movie, just like in Dark Phoenix. All the other X-Men movies use the F-bomb perfectly, but those two, they fumbled. Just a weird choice to have her turn into a wolf for the majority of the movie and then occasionally be like the furry thing. It's just, it's fine. Weird adaptation. Not a fan. Probably won't watch it again. But I don't get why people hate it that much. It got delayed a lot. And it's just, it's whatever, man. I didn't really like this movie.